Hey guys, how's it going? Today I wanted to talk about basic editing workflow, working through B-roll, and how to best do that. Um, the process that I use, I think, is technically called three-point editing, but I just wanted to show you guys some shortcuts within Premiere that can speed this process up. Um, so first of all, we have a clip here within our project, and the way that makes the most sense to go through your clips is to just take all your B-roll, and you can see all the B-roll here, and just systematically go through it, watch each clip, set your in and out point, and then throw it into the timeline. So the quickest way to do that, using the default Premiere shortcuts, is this three-point editing technique, and I'll show you that. So my next clip up is COO45. So I'll open it up, double click on it, and it'll pop up in the source monitor here. I'm in the color tab, but I think you can do the same thing in the editing tab. Let's see. CO45. Where's it at? Yep, it'll pop up in the source monitor here. You can hit spacebar to play. Once you see this blue box, you know you're in this window. So you just hit spacebar, watch through the clip. And that part of the footage, I was kind of in and out of focus, so maybe not the best thing to use. But when she goes up to serve here, I'll set my endpoint. So I'll hit the I key, I as in igloo. That sets the endpoint. You can see here on this little mini timeline of this clip, we set our endpoint, and the rest of this footage is highlighted. So this is the footage that we're dealing with if we were to insert it into our timeline. And we'll set an out point, sorry. So I'll hit spacebar again. That was a bad serve. So we'll play through, wait for another good endpoint. We have an endpoint here. She's about to serve again. Hit the I key. She goes up, hits it. She's got. So let's just say that, from this angle, I can't tell if it went poorly or badly. It looks like the other girl hit it out of bounds. But let's just say we want to stop the clip right after she serves, right there. So I'll hit the O key. O is in Oswald. And then I have my endpoint and my out point. What we're going to do is we're going to insert it into the timeline. So I'll hit the comma key. You can see this little thing pops up, insert. It shows you the shortcut in parentheses. So hit the comma key, and then you can see it appears here in the timeline. Now, the playhead is right on the end of this clip, so I wouldn't click into the timeline until you're completely done setting your in and outs and throwing these clips in. But you can, scrub through the rest of the clip, and even if there's another good moment, you can set your in point again and your out point again, and then insert it into the timeline. So this is the one way of working through your footage. So once you've gone through all your clips, you've set the ins and outs, and you have this big long sequence, what you're going to do is, here's our sequence, and I have the date that all this footage is shot on, cut down 1. Cut down just means that I've cut down my raw footage, and this is the first iteration of that. So now I'm going to copy and paste, Command C, Command V to paste. I'm going to drag it into my sequences. I'm going to rename this sequence to cut down 2. And then I can cut down this footage further. So, you know, a good rule of thumb is each cut down, maybe you cut down the footage from 10 minutes to 5 minutes. You make another duplicate sequence. So you cut it down further and further and further until you're just left with the very best stuff. But you still have these older sequences that you can go back if you still need more footage as you're putting the video together, and you're not losing all your progress. So that's a pretty good method. And then down the road, when you're ready to actually put the video together, you can make another sequence that's, you know, a master sequence, an assembly, where you're putting clips in from all over the place, and they all go into that sequence. You can make a rough cut there, then duplicate it, then make a fine cut, duplicate it again, make a finer cut, and every time you make a revision to your timeline, you're going to duplicate that sequence. That way we don't lose any of the work that we've done. Another thing you'll notice here in this timeline is I have some of these clips marked as gold. This clip is marked as green. If I shrink this down, you can see the color here. It's green at the top. And that's just my own personal system, but color coordinating works. If you want to see like what the best of the best in your timeline is, maybe you mark it green for good, gold for great, red for bad, you know, something that you might throw out on the next iteration of your sequence when you copy and paste it and make a new sequence. Another thing that you can do that's really handy is you can hit the M key and it'll make a marker, and if you double hit the M key, it'll pull up this dialog box, and you can put in some notes. So you could put like the name of the tennis player, and then maybe some comments over what is going on there. If you just wanted to mark it up per match and who's in each match, that's a really great way to stay organized. Or you could put in the comment section, you could put an action, and then you have that marker. So then when you go back into your timeline, you can just scrub over these different markers, and it pops up with a little box that tells you what that section of the sequence is. And this will speed up workflow, make things go way quicker, and we'll stay organized, and we'll make sure that we have the very best of the best footage when we're putting it all together into a final sequence. So those are some quick tips and tricks. So we kind of went over some shortcuts. I for in point, O for out point, the comma key for inserting it into your timeline. I actually, instead of, there's not a shortcut set up for this by default in Premiere for changing the color of clips, but if you go to label, you right click on the clip, and then go to the label here, you can change the color to anything you like. What I have done is I have set up the numbers on my keyboard 1, 2, and 3 to do different colors, so I can quickly change the color of clips and mark those up. So that's something to consider. The more shortcuts you have, the quicker and easier this is going to go. Another quick shortcut, if you hold Command and click up or down, you'll scrub to the front of each clip. So that's pretty handy as well. If you are curious about shortcuts, you can just go to the help here, and then I start to type in shortcuts. So in Premiere Pro, if you click on the Premiere Pro on your menu here, you have keyboard shortcuts, and it will show you every single keyboard shortcut. You can search for a particular action item, and you can see here, if you click into something, this is all programmable as well, I should note. But I have this programmed, so the 1 key makes things rose colored, number 2 is forest, 3 is mango. So red, green, gold, basically. I don't know why they're fruits and plant things, but that's just how Premiere does it. So, yep, that's basically it for a quick edit workflow. Thanks for watching, guys. If you have any more questions or comments or concerns, leave them in the comment section below. Thanks for watching again. I'll see you next time.